questions?
How good was it to get the offensive performance you got from DSR, from your guards, from your backcourt?
It was what we expected them, to tell you the truth. I mean, I think that the last game was not who we are, who they are, and so so for them to come out here and play like they did today, this is kind of what we expect. They both have the responsibility to score points, but also to get their teammates involved, and so sometimes for some people, it's easier than others to understand that responsibility. But they have to score points for us, but then they also have to make sure that they get everybody else the baskets and positions and touches where they win and where everyone else needs it.
You talked about the challenge of this game against that type of team. You purposely scheduled that type of team. How important was it for you to get that momentum going quickly, put them in a hole, and as opposed to some other games against mid-major type where you let them stick around?
No, I mean, it just happened that way. I mean, I told our team before the game all week. I told them after the game. That's a very good team. Billy does a terrific job with them. They're going to be fighting for their league championship. They're the kind of team you see in the NCAA tournament. That's why I picked them. And they're a veteran team. We were fortunate. We got Packer in foul trouble early, and so that changed the dynamic of what they do because he's such a point of emphasis with a lot of things they do. But that's a very, very good team.
From a developmental perspective, in terms of the offense, how good was it to go against so much man defense? A lot of times teams will try to zone you up to.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point we have to be ready for everything. Quite honestly, we saw a lot more zone in the first game than I thought we were going to see. Because Oregon is traditionally a hard man-to-man team, but they're the same way. Billy's they play hard man-to-man with a lot of help, and so a lot of our turnovers is a growing process. I'm thinking a lot of Josh's turnovers, a couple of Moses's, where a guy would cut, he'd be by his man, but our passer has to see the next line of defense, which they are really good at providing that second and third line of defense. And some of those turnovers we were fortunate where it really wasn't there. We had to see the second, third, and fourth option. So this time of year, everything is new. And as much as we have a veteran team, but this collective group is going to see the man for the first time, zone for the first time. And so it's all a process.
Did you see the kind of progress you wanted to in the defensive side of things?
We still have a ways to go. Was it progress? I'm not sure. I got to go back and look at the tape, but we still have a ways to go.
How did Josh's Red State game plan heavily against Josh, double teamed him most of the time he got the ball in the post? How did that open things up for everybody else on the floor today?
I think that and it wasn't just Josh they would double. They doubled whenever it went down into the block, they came right away. So it wasn't just, I don't think it was a game plan just to double him. I think he had some turnovers that he normally won't have. I don't know how many he ended up with. 4, it felt like a lot more to me, to tell you the truth. But I mean, we don't mind the double. We want to like the double. Josh normally is very strong with the ball. Josh is a good passer. So him getting doubled is something that we anticipate happening this year. I think we could put shooters out on the court that we will get open shots, and then we have other guys that are smart enough to know when and how to cut. So it was effective today. Let me just say that. It was very effective. He didn't have that good of an outing. He was fumbling. He had to fumble out. Both him and Moses were fumbling the ball out there. But that's fine. We don't worry about the double.
Reggie Cameron, along with these two guys, made some shots early. Just your thoughts on his performance?
I thought Reggie can shoot. I mean, that's so Reggie did what Reggie does. I thought that he was active defensively and attentive defensively. He got hurt a couple times in the first half in their zone where his bumps weren't fast enough. But I think for the most part, from a defensive perspective, I thought he was attentive. I thought he was active. So he has to do that. He also has to rebound for us. But he's feeling his way through it. But at the end of the day, much like these two, if he's open, he's going in.
Questions for the players?
Starks, early on, did you want to get your backcourt mate involved? It seemed like one time on a break, you kind of looked someone else off to give him the ball. He made it, but was that a point of emphasis coming into the game?
Yeah, he can shoot the ball. He can score. So you got to get him going. Especially knowing that he can really score in the horizon, that only adds to it, you know. And he shot the ball incredibly well, like 8 for 12 from the field. Come on, he's in the gym, so he's gonna make shots.
You can just shoot in the garage. Gotta keep that in mind, my substitutions.
Markel, what's the presence of Josh down low and what he's going to bring to this team as the season progresses? That's going to make everybody else better.
Of course. I mean, we have more of a post presence than we did last year. Not to take away from any of the any of the returning players this year, but you know, obviously throwing it down to Josh and him finding guys. You know, at times he tries to force it sometimes just because he might see it, but he doesn't see the help side defense coming. But I mean, he'll as times go on, he'll continue to get better at it. But you know, it's fun to play with him. But at the same time, you know, we have to continue to get better.
How much did that? I'm sure it obviously did, but going 1 for 15 from 3 in the last game. I mean, how much have you been thinking about that going into this and knowing that you got to get that part going?
And I'm gonna say a few words and I'm gonna give it to Devontae. It plays a factor, but we know we have a lot of shooters. We know a lot of guys that can involve in the hole. And 1 for 15 isn't character. I mean, that's just not us. That's just not us. I think we just couldn't find a rhythm, you know, shooting wise, and you know, at the same time, we'll continue to get better at our shooting. You know, just looking at the stats tonight, we shot the ball pretty well. So, go ahead.
Yeah, like he said, I mean, it was an unusual game. I mean, 1 for 15, we very rarely shoot that bad. I think that game we just weren't taking shots in rhythm. You know, we didn't get into the flow of our offense as much. And as you can see tonight, we shot the ball pretty well. So that's what to expect.
What you think, Coach?
I agree.
Devontae, myself, alluded to this before. You seem to shoot much better at home than you do on the road. What is it about Verizon Center that allows you to shoot better here and have your big games here?
I can't put my finger on it. I mean, I plan on shooting just as well on the road, so I don't really pay too much attention to where I'm playing at.
The great student support that we get here helps the ball go.
Any other questions? Thank you.